Welcome into a live edition of the KC Laboratory presented by Emprise Bank. Member FDIC, our amazing partners in Possible here at KC Sports Network. Always appreciative of them and the wonderful people out at Emprise. I am here with a couple wonderful people. Craig Stout and Maddie Lane on a Wednesday game preview edition of the KC Laboratory. What? Craig, missed you, man. How you doing?
I'm doing fine, as established by Matthew Lane last Wednesday. Thank you so much, Maddie, for handling that, buddy. I appreciate it. You know, I was wondering how I was doing myself. So hearing you tell me that I was doing okay was exactly what I needed, buddy. So grateful to be back. Maddie, how are you doing, bud?
I'm doing great. Now that I can visually see that you're okay, and I don't have to remind the people, that is giving me great joy. I am also glad to hear that I, helped you know that you were doing good. And I mean, listen, we've been talking about it all week now, right? The Chiefs feel a little bit back right now, and it's a fun time to be a Chiefs fan. I had said it, and I'm sorry that I said this, Craig, but like it just feels different when the Chiefs offense is rolling. We went through some years where the defense was carrying the team, and it was a lot of fun, and it's cool, and it's awesome, and we all love Spags. We really, really do. But there's a different vibe when Patrick Mahomes is kind of doing his thing. And so, I think we're all kind of riding high right now. And the Chiefs defense also played well against the Lions. So you got that, there's also that.
I mean, I question your commitment to Spags. Like, I really do, Maddie. I mean, this man is a national treasure, as we've all established, and know anything that would detract from the spotlight and the focus being on him should clearly be just go this way over here. I would much rather win games 17-14 with a defensive touchdown for the Kansas City Chiefs than watch what we saw last. I can't even do that, guy. No, last week was amazing. It was incredible.
You just described the ringless 1990s.
And I also described the past 2 years, if we're being fair here. Like, there was a lot of
the
that
90s.
The last 2 years, too.
What was that like, guys?
Okay. Chill.
A lot of day glow in the early parts of it. I don't know. Neon was a thing. But no, it was great. It was great to watch the offense look really good. And I think it's time, Tucker, hit the music, buddy. It's time for a little
hit it.
7 minutes with Craig. All right. Yeah, that's right. We're going to talk a little offense because, of course, we're going to talk about offense. That's what we're talking about right now. And we're going to talk about maybe a little bit overlooked part of what we saw against the Detroit Lions. And it's 2 runs that I'm going to highlight from Isaiah Pacheco here. That's right. We're talking run game. So the Lions saw that the Chiefs were going to try and commit to the run in this game a little bit. Yeah, the Chiefs were able to spread them out a little, but the Chiefs, as well established, locked the Lions into a lot of 3 linebacker sets, a lot of base defense. We kind of came out thinking that this was going to be an 11 personnel game for the Chiefs. No, they ran at their lowest of the season and kept these linebackers on the field. We know what happened in the passing game. They had a lot of success there, but I was most impressed. Maybe not most, but I was very impressed by the fact that they were able to run the ball against these 8 and 9 man boxes. There were 2 runs that Isaiah Pacheco, for everything that we have ridden him down about for so far this season, there were 2 of them. There was one that was in the first quarter, 1st and 10 on the Detroit 24. It's an 11-yard run that he's able to bounce to the outside. And I really like this play because the entire offensive line is blocking to the right. They're on the right hash, so they are blocking to the short side of the field. And Noah Gray, another maligned player this year, when we talked about his blocking maybe taking a step back, is actually able to get out on the edge. That leaves Isaiah Pacheco with an unblocked Aiden Hutchinson and an unblocked defender off the edge there, trying to basically pin him and not allow him to get to the edge. And Pacheco does a great job with his footwork, initially selling it inside. The offensive line blocks down really, really well there, but it gets the entire defense to commit inside. Aiden Hutchinson is just absolutely in no man's land. He realizes it as soon as Isaiah Pacheco puts his foot in the ground, and there's no chance in hell that he's getting there. Brian Burns has him dead to rights, and Juju Smith-Schuster puts a body in the way, blocks him out of the play. Very legal play. We're not talking about the block of the black back that started that whole fracas at the end of the game, but a play that was very, very good. Cut to a little bit later in the game. Now we are looking at a third quarter. Early on there, it's a 2nd and 1 from the KC 28. Once again, Detroit is stacking the box. It's a 5-0 look with 3 linebackers behind it. Brian Branch is in the box. Looks like a 3 linebacker set, but they've got 8 guys right there, and it's a condensed formation. This is just a simple zone play. 2nd and 1, bread and butter for Andy Reid, but this is one of the best examples of Isaiah Pacheco actually making something out of his own play so far this year. It's nothing special. Offensive line does their job. Jalen Moore actually does a really good job of getting in the way, doesn't latch onto the guy the same way that you would expect, driving him out of that. But Kingsley, especially on a down block, completely blows the hole open, allows Jalen Moore to kind of get in the way. And Isaiah Pacheco presses the gap, sees the cutback forming with Big Bomb Tanyan, locking out the defensive end there, and cuts this back against the grain for a 9-yard rush. That's just 20 yards of offense in an otherwise ridiculously efficient offensive day. They were incredible through the air, but it was the ground game. And I know everybody's focusing on the very end of the game, what they did on the ground. That was impressive too. But these heavy box runs, these are gotta have it runs against heavy boxes that they were able to unleash. If the Chiefs can hit those, just 2 in this game, that's 2 more than we've seen basically all year long. They gotta hit those. If they're hitting those sorts of things, it's over. You can't stack the box regularly. At the very most, we're hitting big gains, not quite explosive, but tide-turning runs that really do break your defense. It's an amazing offense, really good run game that we got.
What you got, Maddie?
Okay. I just didn't know it was my turn. I was waiting for you to. Okay.
I think I may have glitched out in the middle of that. I'm sorry, everybody.
No. You're good, Greg. Yeah, I mean, I think we've all been talking about it, right? Like the Chiefs going under center the past few weeks have really activated Isaiah Pacheco a little bit. Like it's helping him feel a little bit more confident. They're allowing him to get downhill a little bit more. And I do think you're starting to see this Chiefs offensive line, even though there was, a change along the offensive line this past week, you're starting to see everybody else is kind of gelling together a little bit, especially working with this under center game that is allowing specifically Pacheco to come downhill. So yeah, I think he's doing a better job. He is running better. He made some nice cuts. And I really like the first one, like the little wind back run where everybody's coming down and then they bring the tight end across. Hutchinson just goes off nowhere. And Pacheco did a pretty good job. I think that if Isaiah Pacheco can keep playing like he has the past 2 weeks, you're probably pounding the table a little bit less for the Chiefs to add a running back. I would say that I still don't think the running backs as a whole are adding a lot extra, but they are at least playing a pivotal role with what's happening. They are doing a better job of at least playing up to an okay standard behind what they're getting. And I really do think a big part of it was going under center. Mm-hmm. I think I saw a graphic today from, I can't remember which Twitter account, but it had the Chiefs were second in the NFL in EPA per play under center, only behind the Colts. Now, the majority of it was their pass game, not so much the run game, but even still, it was positive for their run play EPA under center, and that's abnormal for the Chiefs to have a positive run EPA unless it's Patrick Mahomes scrambling. So they are having more of an impact going this route, and I do think this particular game, I think, showcased Pacheco in particular a little bit better than some of the games earlier in the season had.
We're going to get into this game preview here a little bit. But it's a really big week here in Kansas City. Everybody's eating this week. Everybody got to eat this weekend because Rashee Rice is back for week 7. against the Las Vegas Raiders. And I just want to know, Craig, how excited are you to watch? I know we got game preview stuff to get into and all that kind of stuff, but how excited are you to see Rashee Rice in a Chiefs uniform again?
I mean, we haven't seen Rashee Rice, Hollywood Brown, and Xavier Worthy on the field together yet. Like this was the plan last year, everybody. They wanted to fix the offense with these three guys. Andy's been sitting on game plans that he cooked up last offseason for a full year. I am ridiculously excited to see what this looks like. I mean, hell, he's probably got more from this offseason. He's just been itching to unleash these three on the field together and see what happens and see how this is going to play out. I couldn't be more excited about what this offense is going to put on the field on Sunday.
The vibes are just so tremendously high right now. It's because this team went out and beat the brakes off the Detroit Lions without Rashee Rice. And now they're getting him back. And we went through this, ho-hum, best 3-year run in the history of the sport where Spags did some heavy lifting. And now it's like, you know what?
More shine on Spags.
Let's score 100 again. Let's go back to scoring 100 again. I like it. I'm so excited. What were you going to say, Maddie?
I was going to say, listen, like we want him to score 100, right? Like we want that to happen. And we're getting Rashee Rice back. And listen, I just everybody's got to eat. That's what's got to happen here, right? Everybody has got to eat a little bit. And Rashee Rice is back. And this is exactly what the Chiefs need. And the vibes are already as high as they can possibly be. So we all got to get out our bowls of rice. And we got to be ready for this weekend. We can't touch it till then. We got to wait till Sunday. We all got to have our rice ready because everybody's got to eat this weekend.
I was going to say, if you're about to eat on podcast, that famous thing that everybody loves, I was going to kill the bit.
Yeah, I wasn't going to go that far.
Can you?
No.
Did you guys see, I think it's Bruce Nolan in Buffalo. He tweeted, it's lived rent free in my head for 2 weeks. For 2 days. The Buffalo Bills lose to the Falcons this week. Offense does not look good. And Bruce Nolan just tweeted out, everybody starves. And I've been thinking about it for 2 days straight.
Listen, apparently the Buffalo Bills and Joe Brady have a slogan that is everybody eats. I had no earthly idea that the Bills had a slogan that wasn't like, oh, shucks, we'll get them next year. Okay. I had no idea they had a different slogan other than the 5th time's the charm, right?
Or wide right.
I thought that was their slogan, but apparently they have a slogan that is everybody eats. And some Bills fans are a little touchy about the Chiefs going with everybody got to eat. But listen, win something and maybe you can have a slogan. Maybe you got to win first. I don't know.
How's Keon Coleman doing right now? Is he
eating
some calories? Is he
very hungry?
He's down to 168 pounds.
His number is the same amount of calories he's consumed on the football field in last basically since that one random quarter where he was good for his entire career against the Baltimore Ravens in week 1. That was it. And then basically he's been pretty bad since. I saw another Bills fan say, yeah, we should have traded. We should have just drafted Worthy. That's been delicious. That has been very tasty. It's been a lot of fun to enjoy. Not as tasty as Maddie's rice, I'm sure. But yeah, the Chiefs. You have a chance if you want to be at a Chiefs home game this year, watching Rashee Rice and the rest of that offense eat. I'm calling all Chiefs fans. You could be on the field at the 50 inside GEHA field for the official coin toss at a Chiefs home game this season. Visit Chiefs.com/GEHA now and enter to win a chance to be on the field for a once-in-a-lifetime view of the pre-game coin toss. Plus, you can score other exclusive prizes. Enter for a chance to win at Chiefs.com/GEHA. GEHA is the proud partner of the Kansas City Chiefs. wonderful organization, Chiefs.com/GEHA to go sign up and get a chance at a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. We got a game preview to do right after this.
My name is Terrell Jolly. A lot of people call me TJ, founder and CEO of Integrity Capital Management. So Integrity Capital Management originally started out as a property management firm, but we slowly transitioned to what is described as an incremental development firm that's focused on situational housing. I know most people say affordable, but we believe in creating housing for people that are actually in need and built to the end user. I believe everyone needs a home because when you have home, you have hope. The reality is that when you're building a business, one thing you don't think about is like what a true banking relationship means. And, I had the honor and privilege of meeting Debbie early on in my career when I was just trying to get going. And as a small business, it's really challenging at times because people don't understand the concept or not believe in longevity because you're just getting started. But Debbie was willing to take a chance on me, be patient with me. I almost look at it like a grassroots initiative. She's seen and believe what I'm about. Anybody that's really true about their business and want to get some things done, I would definitely trust hands down Emprise because Deb's team, along with Aaron and Jackie and all the amazing people that work behind the scenes, even from the treasury side, I would say, hey, give them an opportunity, because you won't be disappointed and you will actually be in hands that actually somebody care and that will see you from start to finish.
Thanks for hanging out on a wonderful edition of the KC Laboratory, a game preview edition. We all bring something to the table most weeks. I can't say I bring it every week, but most weeks we're trying. We bring a question to the table, offense and defense, as we preview this game coming up. It is Chiefs. It is Raiders. Devin White's already running his mouth. Can't wait. Looking forward to it. Offensive preview time. Craig, we've missed you. First question of the day for the offensive preview. What you got?
Yeah, Tucker, throw it up. Who leads the team in targets? I think this is the question amongst everybody right now. I think we're all expecting that Rashee Rice is going to come out of the gate here and just going to get peppered with targets. And I, too, believe that that is going to be the case, especially against a, frankly, very, very terrible Raiders defense. However, are they going to ease him in? Are we going to see a little bit more of a, kind of slow roll into this? He has not taken a hit since the preseason. Everybody knows that some of the hardest parts of football shape is getting that first hit in. Even Xavier Worthy, coming back from 2 weeks with an injury, said, yeah, I just needed to get that first hit in, and then all the jitters were gone. Everything was good. Are we going to see them come out and have a dedicated game plan to peppering Rashee Rice with 10, 11 targets in this game? I can absolutely see that. I can also absolutely see the Las Vegas Raiders thinking, oh, you know what? They're probably going to try and force feed this guy the ball, and they could come out with a very Xavier Worthy heavy game plan on a game like this, where frankly, the Raiders don't really have a ton of speed that can run with a guy like Xavier Worthy. Even at safety, they don't have guys that they can really count on to top a lot of this stuff or run on some of these vertical routes. Eric Stokes had some speed, but has not really shown an ability to really play at a high level in the NFL, especially against some faster guys. Darnay Holmes does not have speed. Q Blue Kelly does not have speed. These are not guys that are going to come out there and be able to run with Xavier Worthy and Tyquan Thornton for that matter, and Hollywood Brown for that matter. So I really wonder, are we going to see an offensive game plan that we all want to see that features wide receiver one, Rashee Rice, coming back and just, let's see him get 8 catches for 110 yards and a tutty, because that would just, vibes would be in an all-time high if that happened with this offense right now. Or do we see them start to ease him in and we see a game where Xavier Worthy catches 10 targets and, maybe some short stuff, some intermediate, and a couple of deep shots that we get to see where he really stresses all levels of the field? This is going to be my question, and it's not going to be my question on the podcast every week, but every single week moving forward for this Chiefs offense, because they legitimately have 3 guys that they can trust to target 8, 9, 10 times a game. We have not been able to say that about a Chiefs offense in ever. I mean, this is certainly not in the Patrick Mahomes era. And that doesn't include Travis Kelce, who is getting targeted a lot and is going to be the beneficiary of all these guys out there. It really is just this wealth that this Chiefs offense all of the sudden has here. And week to week, it can be a different guy that can go out there and beat them. So I'm really curious who's going to be the bulk of the targets in a game like this, especially against a terrible Raiders secondary that shouldn't be able to cover any of these guys, frankly.
I mean, listen, they don't say everybody got to eat for a reason, right? Like everybody does. There's a lot of mouths to feed. And like, I think the Chiefs are embracing it certainly as a, hey, we have a lot of playmakers. We got them on the field. So let's see what happens, as they should. And that's absolutely true. So in a game like this, or any game coming up, but a game like this in particular, where you can probably pick any matchup you want to exploit a little bit, it will be interesting to see where they funnel targets through. But I will say this, everybody does in fact have to eat, but there's always only one head of the table. Acknowledge him. And he wears number 4, and this is his first game back. It's going to be Rashee Rice, right? Rashee Rice is going to lead this team in targets in this game. I think the majority of games, they got to put up 4s. everybody's going to, I think every week he should be your expectation to lead the team in targets. And I've said this might be Worthy's ankle might be a little bit more hampering than we know about. He doesn't look quite as fast, long speed as he did last year. And I do want to chalk it up to the ankle or the shoulder. You ever tried to sprint without moving your shoulder without it hurting? It's probably pretty darn hard, right? It's just, he doesn't look quite as fast as he did last year. I do think some of the injuries are hampering what his ultimate upside can be this year. We obviously don't know what Rice is going to look like coming back, but I think he was the guy they were funneling targets through last year. He's the guy they're probably trying to take over Travis Kelce's spot. He's the guy that has the most trust on third downs. He's the guy that when Andy Reid is drawing up and designing plays, not the designer plays, but when he's calling his plays, the guy that's getting put in the most advantageous spots is going to be Rashee Rice. So I would expect him to get the most. Oh, and by the way, if we go look in what the Raiders cover, like where they're giving up receptions, which is everywhere, they are so bad in the secondary that they're actively trying to play more base defense, in which they also probably have the worst linebacker group in the NFL. They are actively putting more linebackers on the field to avoid having to play extra corners because they're so bad. The problem is that means that they are putting Jamal Adams playing linebacker back on the field a lot. That means that they are putting Devin White on the field in coverage. They're putting a Landon Roberts in coverage over cornerbacks and safeties. Ooh. So if I were to locate one spot that I think is probably pretty easy to attack, I'm going to guess the middle of the field for this Raiders team, which is where Rice is going to do the majority of his work.
A Landon Roberts in 2025, huh? Wow. Yeah, this
Devin
could be
White
like a
2025. Wow.
Jamal Adams in 2025.
Man. That's the second level, man. Thanks,
People picked this team as a sleeper playoff team, by the way. I just want to lob that out there.
It was all offense.
They are a sleeper. They are a certified sleeper. I will say that. Pete Carroll in 2025?
Yeah.
Not so sure about that one. Tuck, real quick, I do think just pivoting or adding to that, I could see a hey, go heavy, spread them out kind of concept too. Like get them in base and then go out of empty if you feel comfortable enough protecting against Max Crosby. That's the only downside to that one. Tuck, get my question up there. It kind of ties to some of this a little bit. Some of the stuff Craig talked about off the top. Does the vertical passing game open up? Like last week against the Detroit Lions, the Chiefs really didn't push the ball down the field all that much. Tyquan Thornton was kind of taken out of the game. I think the Detroit Lions played a little bit more top down. And I think to Craig's point, there's going to be a lot of attention around Rashee Rice, the return of Rashee Rice. He's not going to be playing down the field as much. I think he's operating where you guys talked about in the middle of the field and absolutely feasting in that area. That there's a lot of decisions that the Las Vegas Raiders will have to make now with Rashee Rice back into the mix, because Tyquan Thornton has proven to be in a very quality vertical presence, and we've seen it out of Xavier Worthy too, and he has the vertical speed to really create problems for any defense, let alone a terrible football team, terrible defense in the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm curious to see what gets going in this game, and maybe it's everything. Everybody got to eat, so maybe it is everything. But I want to see them. I want to see them push the ball down the field a little bit again this week. And I think with Rashee Rice back into the mix, I think there could be some opportunities that open up in the vertical game with Tyquan Thornton and Xavier Worthy potentially. What do you think, Maddie?
Yeah, the past 2 weeks, so the Chiefs, deep passing game was working really well to start the year. Really well. They were taking chances, and then we were starting to see them connect on more and more. And you got Worthy back, and you had Tyquan Thornton, and they were having success pushing the ball downfield, whether completely vertical or the deeper intermediate areas and stuff like that. Right, it was going well. These past 2 weeks, though, the Lions, especially, but the Jags too, they really played top down again against this team. And we hadn't seen that the past year and a half, 2 years now. Teams weren't really afraid of the Chiefs beating them over the top. But I do think that we've seen the last 2 matchups be a little bit more cognizant of, hey, the Chiefs are trying to push the ball downfield a little bit more. Let's try to play top down again. They don't really have these after the catch players. Rashee Rice is coming back. So, interesting. But they don't really have these after the catch players. So maybe if we just rally and tackle, we can stop them. It didn't work for either of the teams, really. And the Jags didn't really get any stops in particular. The Lions obviously didn't get any stops. So it wasn't working, but teams were taking away the long ball. I wonder if that changes against the Raiders, one, because they're not good. But two, I also wonder if having the threat of Rashee Rice back, and now you do have somebody that when he catches that 5-yard hitch route or that 5-yard crosser, it might be a 30-yard play. He is one of the best, if not the best player in the NFL right now at taking short passes and turning them into explosive pass plays. That is something that he does do at an elite, better than, just about anybody else in the NFL rate right now. So I'm curious to see what the Raiders do. I think it might be another week or two of seeing if Rice is ready to really hit the ground running before the deep game really can open back up. But hey, the speed of Thornton and Worthy, you can't rule it out at any point in time being a game. And all you really need is to hit 1 or 2 for it to feel like it was impacting the game on a big level.
And when you look at the way that the Lions play, and it makes sense, the Lions are down to the 3 of us playing corner for them. So yeah, they don't trust them to run with the Chiefs. Yeah,
we cheated so the Chiefs could win too. By the way,
that's true. That's true. That's why Brian Branch was so mad.
He was mad at us.
He's so mad. Anyway, no, it was one of those where you got it. They had to play crazy deep, 30 yards back from the line of scrimmage, and not trusting those guys to be able to run with it. That is the complete byproduct of all of this. I believe it's the 3rd down play, the one where Hollywood is just wide open underneath. There's nobody within 5 yards of him. Travis Kelce has his best game of the year. It's because that deep passing game and the deep shots, you don't have to connect on them all the time. You connect on 1 a game or something like that. That scares the living hell out of defensive coordinators. And now the run game opens up. Now the middle of the field opens up, and one of the best players in the NFL at taking the ball in the middle of the field and doing something with it is added to this offense. It really is going to be a pick your poison thing. So yeah, I'm curious. You play a little bit more in the box, try and stop things a little bit more. Good luck over the top with these guys. You try and defend a little bit deeper. Good luck stopping what the Chiefs are going to be able to do. There's explosive plays in either way.
No, just to add a quick little context here, it does look like the Raiders are they've only seen 13 passes that have gone over 20 yards in the air, which is one of the lowest rates in the league, probably because they're always losing, so teams are just running. But, their success rates on it have been fine. So, they've performed fine, very average when they have seen these long passes, but they aren't getting a ton. So maybe this is a week, and if you kind of run through some games, I do think the Raiders are aware their secondary is not great. I do think they are aware that they need to keep stuff in front of them. So I think typically against other teams, they have played a little bit softer and trying to rally to the ball. So maybe it won't be this week where the vertical game takes off, or maybe you see the curveball. Maybe the Chiefs do try to push the ball and just, hey, let's try some stuff. Let's put some stuff out there and try to catch them lacking a little bit. So I could see it either way.
Real quick on the deep passing game, this is from Sumer Sports. It's actually in the article that I wrote for KCSN's Chiefs newsletter. I believe it's going out tomorrow. Last season, the Chiefs' deep pass percentage rate, passes thrown 20 plus yards, was 8.43%. Both of you, guess what it is so far, despite a little bit of a downturn here in recent memory in 2025 so far? Guess.
Can you tell me what a league leader is? To have a
Ooh,
reference?
That's a great question, Maddie.
No.
I just want a
Okay.
reference point. I just was looking for a reference point, not to cheat or anything.
Okay. I'll give you an over-under.
Okay.
I'll give you an over-under of 13%.
Hold on. Okay. I'm gonna go over
13%.
because I was gonna guess 16 was my guess.
I
So
was
I'll
going to
go-
guess 12.2.
Okay.
I can't believe I get to do this. And the winner of this game is Craig Stout. Maddie Lane gets 0
Wow.
points. He is
That feels good,
so
right?
wrong.
It
Oh.
feels good to say I win, doesn't it?
It feels
Yeah.
good to say you
Hey,
win.
Craig.
And
Congratulations. You were an excellent competitor. I've
so
never
are
been
you.
so proud.
I really
Thanks,
appreciate you
man.
played the game the right way. And that's what
I
I really
tried.
like about it. You didn't try and like argue the rules or anything like that.
really
The
tried.
questions that you asked were logical. It was really good. This was fun playing a game with you.
We should do it again sometime. I really like this fair
12.68%.
competition.
12.68%.
All right.
Maddie, get your question.
My question, Tuck. Let's throw it on up there. All right.
Or
Are
don't.
we gonna
There
do
we go. All right.
Are we gonna do the entire 2-step forward or 1-step backwards dance with this Chiefs offense? I just kept this very big and vague. Are we gonna see a Chiefs offensive stinker? This is the prime time over the past couple seasons where we're all getting excited. We think the offense is all coming together. We all have these big, huge expectations. Are we just going to get a ho-hum offensive game where things are a little bit harder than they need to be? We don't quite seem like they're pulling all the right levers like they have been the last few games. Maybe they're never even in trouble of losing this game, but it just doesn't fill you with the warm and fuzzies that we have gotten the past couple games. Now, the only reason I bring this up is because, again, the past few weeks or the past few years, this has happened numerous times when they go up and play a bad team. They have a little bit of a history of not just steamrolling bad teams. The vibes for the offense haven't been this high, I don't think, since, ever. Midway through 2022, when we realized the offense without Tyreek Hill was really flying, right? Like, that was the last time you felt going into a game, the offense, like, oh, I'm about to go watch the best offense in the NFL. It was years, right? And so we kind of feel like we're there now. Do we happen to get a little slip backwards again in this particular game, or can they avoid it and just keep on rolling?
I mean, that's man, it's really tough. You know, you hate to discredit a divisional opponent the way that we have been, but frankly, they're ass. Like they really are. This team has been really terrible all season long. I like elements of it. Brock Bowers doesn't look like he's going to play. We'll get to that offense. But on the defensive side of the ball, it is really terrible. It's Max Crosby and a bunch of meh right now. And so really you have one guy that can wreck the game. Now that one guy is really good. Max Crosby, really good football player, going up against what may be a backup left tackle. We'll talk about that maybe when we get to offensive players to watch a little bit more here. But it really comes down to the exact perfect matchup for what the Chiefs need. The offense has been clicking lately. Now, granted, they've been playing some not awesome defenses or injured defenses. They're coming up against another not awesome defense. There is nothing to indicate that this team can't just go out there and do whatever they want on offense, be able to line up and do whatever they want. So any sort of backslide, if this becomes a 20-17 Chiefs win and the offense does not look good, we're not all sitting around here going, oh, wow, hey, the we're back department is still in order. You know, no, we're feeling not great about that sort of thing. So it's almost like a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation the Chiefs are in. They're getting wide receiver one back. They're playing a terrible defense. And you should expect, coming off of very good offensive performances, that this is another 30-point game, unless they've really got to take their foot off the gas because it's 28-0. You know, the understandable reasons not to get to 30, but you would expect a lot of offense of the Chiefs. If they do that, everybody's going to shrug and go, yeah, it's the Raiders. Of course, they were supposed to do that. Rashee Rice is back. If they don't, everybody's going to hit the panic button again. So I like this one, Maddie, because there really is nothing to win here for the Chiefs. They can look awesome. We can all have fun with this, but inevitably it will be, well, it was the Raiders.
I'll say it. I don't think there's any redeeming thing about this team whatsoever. I don't like anything about it. I think they're awful. I think they're an awful, awful team right now.
I love Max Crosby. You'll never convince me to dislike him. I'm sorry.
Brock Bowers not even playing. Ashton Genty, Maddie's he's revving up the bus to do victory laps with Ashton Genty.
You mean poor conference Ahmad Hardy?
Golly. Chill. This team's terrible. They're a terrible football team. They're awful. There's nothing redeeming about them. I think the Chiefs, I think the vibes, I don't know if it'll be a step forward, but I don't think it's going to be a step back. I think this team is going to be sharp. I think there's too much energy and excitement about Rashee Rice being back. And I think the fact that this whole thing is together finally, I think it could be really, really, really good. I think it's the best offense in football the second half of the season. Offensive players to watch. Craig Stout, what you got?
What I got Jalen Moore. This is a guy, we don't know what's happening with Josh Simmons right now. And, I assume at this point that the Chiefs do know, and they just don't know when he's going to be back. It happens all the time. We've been discussing this. I'm sure every Chiefs fan has been discussing this lately, but he'll be back when he gets back. That means Jalen Moore, this is the investment that you made in the offensive line and why you have a guy like Jalen Moore around to keep this floor high in case of a scenario where you have to get this guy in spot duty. Max Crosby largely plays off the right side of the offensive line, but does mix around a little bit. Even if Max Crosby primarily matches up against Jawan Taylor all game long, guess what? They're going to want to help against Max Crosby. So we need a guy on the other side, Jalen Moore, to win a quote-unquote inferior matchup that he's going to have over there, because they're not going to want to help two guys on this offensive line against a terrible defense. They want to get as many guys out in the route as possible. So this is a big game if Jalen Moore has to play. Filled in very admirably at a drop of a hat against Aiden Hutchinson. I mean, that's exactly what you want out of a backup tackle right there. That is exactly what you want. Might be thrust into the starting lineup again, so I'm keeping my eye on him. If he does well enough and they can ship help Jawan Taylor against Max Crosby, they're still going to let Jawan play one-on-one on an island at times, but they will chip on occasion just to keep things honest. This offense really can do whatever they want against the rest of this defense.
Maddie.
Ooh. Me, surprise. I'm going to make this quick because I do want to answer a super chat. Actually, I think this is the right time to do it. Give me Isaiah Pacheco because I do think if he can wrap in a third straight game of looking competent, I really think that quiets down the Chiefs' need to trade for a running back thing. Although I still think they should no matter what happens because I don't think he's great. If he can just be good again, though, I do think that will at least quiet that and maybe allow the Chiefs to focus on finding a defensive end if they really want to be active. So super chat is from Joseph Jackson. This goes along with a little bit of what Craig was saying there. Yeah. When do we start to worry about Josh Simmons returning? I think post-bye is on the table, but who knows? Joseph, your final part there is the big key. Who knows? And we don't know. And the team hasn't been able to say it yet, whether they know, don't know. We'll have to find out at some point in time. Like when it is time, we will know what is going on, whether this is entirely a personal thing. It sounds like it is up to Josh Simmons. He will make that information available for the team to report, or he will report it or let everybody know when it's time. So like that is completely whatever it is. We don't know what it is. Whatever it is, he will know. I will say, if you want to take out the human element and entirely focus on football of when he will be back, which I do think is a different question that I do think fans have to remember. There is a human element and there's a football element. From the football side, yeah, it sounds like, and maybe I'm misinterpreting this, it sounds like the Chiefs are a little unsure of when they will even have an idea of when he might be back. And maybe they just don't want to say, but it just seems like everything is up in the air right now. So I don't think you should be worried because you have Jalen Moore, who has played well, and they paid to be in this starting role when Josh Simmons wasn't there. However, it is something you got to pay attention to. We don't know when Josh Simmons will be back. And obviously him missing multiple games isn't good. You don't want your first round pick, who's a rookie, to be missing multiple games for whatever the reason is. So it's just, it's such an unknown thing right now. And I really do think that something unfortunate happened. We don't, and I'm not reporting anything. I just think something unfortunate happened to him or around him, and it's going to take a little bit of time before he is ready to be open with when he will be back. I just hope that he is staying in communication with the team and updating them, because the way the PR has been handled around this, the press has been handled around this from the team, or the lack of press from Drew Rosenhaus, who would be his agent or runs his company, very different than what you would normally expect in a situation like this, which I think is feeding into a lot of people's fears.
And it makes me wonder if it's still a situation in flux. Like that's really, and again, I'm this is pure speculation. I know nothing here, but I think about situations that I've been in my life. I am a manager at my day job. I, lead some people here and there. There are situations where you don't have the full story, and the people don't have the full story, where they don't know everything yet. And sometimes, especially if it's a sudden thing, which it sounds like this was on Sunday, you just kind of got to let things play out a little bit. I would rather him be in a situation where he feels comfortable returning to the team. But to Maddie's point, and again, these are two separate things here, because there is that human element. You got to give him grief. You got to give him time to process whatever happened, whatever it is. At the same time, the NFL largely does not care about that, for right or wrong. They don't. We hear all the time in the draft process some of the silliest shit that you would imagine, that NFL teams are like, nah, he's off the board because he cares about his girlfriend too much, or he does, it's just the wildest stuff that you would imagine. It's, he's not as dedicated to football as you would. That's the unfortunate nature of the NFL sometimes. And so there is this dichotomy. And I'm not saying the Chiefs are one of those, that the Chiefs are trying to pressure him to come back. We don't know any of that right now, but it has led to a lot more questions. And the fact that we don't have answers, and that, all of that has just led to more rampant speculation here. And it's led to things where we're asking questions about, is he going to be back before the bye week? We don't know. That's really the case, that we don't know. You obviously hope so, because for his sake, feeling like he can move on and go do whatever he needs to do, and for our football team's sake, which is obviously secondary to Josh Simmons' health and all of that. But I don't know. It's just a tough situation to have to be in right here as both Josh Simmons and the team. And there's really no right way about this, unfortunately.
And it certainly does, like, I get where everybody's coming from, because it certainly does feel out of your traditional norms when it comes to communications about reasons for players missing, period, right? Like, I think there tends to be explanations, right? More often than not, absences from a game get communicated in some capacity. I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm saying that's why the air is out there, and why some of the confusion is out there, and why some people are left questioning. But I think it is important. It's being left questioned. There really isn't, whatever speculation you might have, you can think things, but there's so many scenarios that this could be. So I think, let it play out. And I think also remind yourself, this is a 22-year-old kid too. Like, this is an extremely young man. I feel he's very young as a 36-year-old now. But I mean, this is just a kid, man. And so, like, hopefully whatever he's going through is not as, I genuinely, I don't know what's going on, but it doesn't seem good. And I hope whatever it is isn't as bad as I fear it is. How about, it's all speculation what I fear it is. I'm just saying, got to be something that's pretty significant for that 22-year-old to be missing football games like this. So, my player to watch is Tyquan Thornton.
Good transition, buddy.
we're gonna take a break. We'll be back right after this.
My name is
Chiefs Kingdom. I have got a question for you. What is your favorite touchdown? Well, for me, I can confidently say that my favorite touchdown It's the next one, because with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, every touchdown could bring you closer to cashing in. From the first touchdown score to anytime touchdown props or the thrill of live in-game betting, every snap is loaded with opportunity. From spreads to money lines, same-game parlays, regular parlays, you want it, DraftKings has got it. Here's the best part. Bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets instantly. I use DraftKings Sportsbook, and you should too. Your team hitting pay dirt pays out to you. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code KCSN. That's code KCSN to turn $5 into $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, fees may apply in Illinois. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bet must win to receive reward. Minimum minus 500 odds required. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
Appreciate everyone hanging out with us. It's a very secure episode of the KC Laboratory. The ball protection from Mr. Craig Stout there. If you are an audio only listener, you are really missing out because that ball is on lock. But anyways, defensive football side of the time. Defensive side of the football time.
What?
Huh. Yeah.
Wow. You said that ball is on lock and everything dismantled after that.
Yeah, because I knew I was going to be getting roasted for saying that.
Your
In
brain
the back of my head, I was
Yeah.
picturing Tucker
later in
smiling,
chat,
Maddie's eyebrows
nodding.
going up, and then
Yeah.
the group chat getting just, whenever Jordy hears this. That's
He's listening
where
right now. Good friend.
That's true. He does do that sometimes. And then Briscoe not replying to anyone.
Till tomorrow.
You know what? You guys, I'll throw my defensive question
Let's
up
go.
first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's an evergreen question. But considering the fact that it's the Raiders, can the Chiefs get home with 4 against a bad offensive line? Let's play the game called Name That O-Line. Maddie Lane, how many offensive linemen do you think you can name on the Las Vegas Raiders O-line right now?
1, and he's playing out of position.
Craig, can you name more than 1?
Is Stone Forsythe still there?
Ooh, that's a good pull.
Stone Forsythe. No, I'm not going to answer the question. Can you name more than 1?
I think
Craig,
just
can you name
2.
more?
I think
All
just 2. If Stone Forsythe is still there, I think I got 2.
Craig Stout, name that tune. Here we go.
Jackson Powers Johnson and Stone Forsythe.
Ooh.
Yes, sir. Congratulations.
Hold on. If I can use Stone Forsythe, I might be able to get a third. Was he Kentucky? Parham. Is it he the one that moved Jackson Powers Johnson out of center?
It is Dylan Parham at left guard.
Oh, he's a guard. Okay, I thought he moved. So who the heck's their center?
I'm gonna click over to the tab here with the
All right,
depth
well,
chart.
I'm gonna Jordan Meredith is the center.
Who?
Okay. And I'm pretty sure
Craig goes, oh.
Maddie, I'm pretty sure if I gave you a hint, you could name their starting right tackle too.
What's your hint? Do you have a hint you can give me?
Maryland.
Recent?
Oh, I don't know.
Probably
Oh,
recent.
yeah.
If I'm not going to know, it's going to be recent. Ooh, DJ Glaze.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yes, let's go. What an O-line.
Delmar. DJ
Oh,
short for
yeah.
Delmar. Tucker,
Yeah,
where you needed. I think that's where you needed to play the fart sound.
Who's playing left tackle?
There we go.
Forsythe.
Stone Forsythe's playing left tackle for this team.
Buddy, that's a unit.
All right, here's the thing. Craig said something about like you're not even really sure if you're going to learn anything about this team. If they go out and they actually have success as a 4-man pass rush, because this is an awful offensive line. We have now shifted from the Lions secondary to playing offensive line for the Las Vegas Raiders. So congratulations to everyone. Tucker is playing center. I don't know if we're gonna like walk away like thrilled if the Chiefs get home with 4, but I think we'll continue to be upset if the Chiefs don't.
Yeah.
Like I think that this is like one of those things. It's like, I mean, if you can't do it here, you can't do it anywhere. So big opportunity to see if this offensive line, this pass rush can get home without having Steve Spagnuolo having to send the house with everything. What you think, Craig? Do you think they do it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're going to have a lot more success. I think this is a Chris Jones game. I do. I think definitely wanted to get up for the Detroit game. We saw him be a little bit of a closer there after being in the headlines the week before. I think he knows, and he gets up for division games too. Like it's not a hard thing for him. He knows that the matchup is going to be favorable. He could line up all the way out to 7 tech, and it's favorable for him against this offensive line. He doesn't have to hunt a matchup. He can basically pick and choose anybody at any time. So I think we're going to see the team get home with 4. It's just going to be, does Charles Omenihu continue? He's had a couple of good games now. We've seen some life out of him a little bit. George Karlaftis, we need to see a little bit more over the last 2 games. This might be a get-right game for those 2 edges, especially there. And maybe we see a guy like Omar Norman Lott finally get to tee off a little bit against the team. If, the Chiefs are up big in this game, get him out there, get him a few more pass rush reps. This feels like a little bit of a stat padding game for the 4-man rush if they can get home. And boy, they better against Meredith Jordan. Yeah, I don't mind.
Meredith Jordan.
Yikes.
So, I mean, some numbers back kind of go with this. The Raiders oddly aren't like the crazy high in pressures given up or pressure rate. Like they're not good, but they're not as high as you think. Now, part of that's probably boosted by having one of like the top 10 time to throw. So they're getting the ball out quick and stuff like that. But, they're again, middle-ish of the pack. They're top 8 in QB pressure percent, which is not good, but it's not crazy bad, right? Like there's not a huge gap between them at 8th and like the 20th best team. It's relatively tight there. So they do give up pressure. The ball comes out quick, but they don't give out a crazy. They're not the New York Jets offensive line. They're not the Los Angeles Chargers offensive line. Okay. So like they can at least make you beat them. So yeah, I do think you want to see the Chiefs come in and get pressure on them and do it frequently, but I don't know if it's going to be like running through paper mache, even though they are starting a Jordan Meredith at center. So yeah, I mean, we'll see what it looks like coming out of it. I think I have a semi-related thing to this about feeling good about this. We probably should have done this after Kent talking about ball security. But Tucker, you can throw my question up there as Craig hits the very secure ball pose. How far can the Chiefs climb in turnovers forced rankings? So I did this last year where the Chiefs were, I think, in the 30s and before they played Jameis Winston and the Cleveland Browns. And I said, hey, here's your chance to climb up the rankings. Well, the Chiefs don't currently sit in the 30s. They are 18th in the NFL in turnovers forced. They are going up against the Las Vegas Raiders, who are 31st in turnovers given away, mostly thanks to Geno Smith, as in they've only had 1 fumble. Every other turnover has been an interception. So where can the Chiefs end up after this game? How many turnovers can they force in this particular game? Because the Raiders will give you the ball. They are very open to giving you the ball. Their ball security is nowhere near Craig's. They would rather your hands on their balls rather than keep their hands on their balls on the football field. So just where the Chiefs go. How many turnovers can they get?
I mean, that's really the question there. And Jake Browning has been hot ass this season and has turned the ball over a lot. Tua has really been terrible. Joe Flacco got benched because he kept turning the ball over. Even Trevor Lawrence has had this kind of stigma of turning the ball over a little bit more. Geno Smith has twice the turnovers as Trevor Lawrence does. He leads the league in interceptions with 10.
His balls are for the taking.
And yeah, they're right there for everybody to grab. So this is a day where you might see Brian Cook, Jaden Hicks, Shamari Connor really get their hands on some balls. And it's going to be one where Geno just doesn't take care of the ball. Like this is, it's one of those when the Raiders traded for Geno, I went, oh, you know what? I kind of like that fit a little bit. I get what they're going for there. He has been awful. Like he's not seeing the field at all. So Steve Spagnuolo is going to be able to get into a lot of different blitz packages if we expect how this game is going to go. He's going to be able to rush the pass with all kinds of guys. I believe, Seamus in the chat even said this is going to be one of my points. Ashton Jeanty has not been good in pass pro. Like, as a matter of fact, not picking up things particularly well as well.
Kind of giving up.
Kind of giving up. Steve Spagnuolo is great at getting free rushers. And then you've got a running back that's also not going to be great at picking things up. Geno Smith is going to be hit a lot. He is going to be, trying to get rid of the ball. And he holds on to the ball forever, too. One of the highest rates in the league. This just all adds up to he's going to try and force it. And that's what he's trying to do right now. And it just results and just a whole bunch of defenders grabbing balls out there.
Next question, Craig. Ball's in your court.
Ball's in my court. Tucker, throw it up there. No question. Just make Geno beat you. Like, that's it. That's the entire game plan here. There's nothing more to this. That's how every team has had success against the Las Vegas Raiders this year. There are 2 games this season that the Raiders did not score a touchdown in. 2 in 6. Come on, guys. Like, that's terrible. You have gone out, you've spent a lot of assets on weapons for this offense. Michael Mayer is still out there. He's looking better, as he's kind of re-entered the fray here with the Raiders. Brock Bowers is hurt, but you had that guy for much of the season. Jacoby Myers is a walking 1,000 yards over the past couple seasons, and they can't even get him the ball. Trey Tucker looks a little bit dynamic down the field, and you drafted a running back high in this. There is no shortage of weapons in this. And yet I look at this team and the way that they've been beaten all year long, and teams just say, well, we're not going to allow Jeanty to run on us. So good luck, Geno. Go out and do it. And he can't. He just quite simply can't. He has a terrible sack rate. He has a terrible interception rate. He does not take care of the ball. This is Steve Spagnuolo seeking pity on Geno Smith by the end of this game. Like, that's really what it feels like. A game that is a big blowout where the defense is just absolutely annihilating this. This team has too many decent offensive weapons to be this bad. You can't have 2 games where you don't score an offensive touchdown, especially against the kind of schedule that they played this season. All of the success that they have had has come against bad defenses, has really come against, despite the fact that Geno can't take care of the ball and can't really do anything there. Even Jeanty, who everybody went, oh man, he's going to be really good here. It is really propped up by a Chicago Bears game where he went nuts on. The rest of the year has just been fine to meh so far, which is fine as a rookie. But this is not an offense that should be able to be dynamic, should be able to hang with this Chiefs, and is going to press already because the Chiefs are going to come out here and score points. Just make Geno beat you because he can't.
Well, it does feel like their offense is getting worse, and I do think Geno is getting worse, right? And if you look at Jacoby Myers didn't practice today, and there is actually some rumors out there he might even be on the move sooner rather than later.
Goodness.
Brock Bowers, which is such a significant loss for them. They have been without Brock Bowers, like this whole thing, the boat was built out of Brock Bowers and Ashton Jeanty, and Ashton Jeanty is not really proven yet to be able to carry the load because 23 carries, 75 yards against the Tennessee Titans last week, a long of 13 yards, a long run of 13 yards. It's a very Chiefsian kind of approach there. The skill player group is better than what they have been able to put out there for the majority of the season, but also that offensive line stinks. So you are just it's a rough spot for this entire offense to be in. I don't think Geno Smith has a lot of trust and confidence in what he's having to throw to right now, and I don't blame him. But I do think, when they get back, that might be a little bit better. Unfortunately for Geno, it doesn't sound like it's going to get any better anytime soon, and he has not done anything in the way of really helping that team find great offensive success in the absence of some of these players.
I think Chip Kelly's play sheet is very small. I think that it's not very expansive. And I think in the NFL, when you have a lot more time and people that can be dedicated to figuring it out, and the longer you go, the harder it gets. Teams have now had multiple weeks of getting Chip Kelly's offense with eyes on it. They also have his first stint in the NFL. And I think you see that teams are very well prepared for what they are trying to do. That puts a lot of pressure on the players to execute at a high level. And when Geno Smith has been pressing this year, he's making mistakes. And once he makes the first mistake, he's going to make more. So yes, don't let them just be able to lean on the run game and kind of mitigate that. Don't let them just be able to lean on the run game, control down and distance, shorten the game, get those third and longs or second and longs or even third and mediums, and make Geno Smith try to have a quote unquote vintage Seattle version of a Geno Smith game and see if he can execute that way, because he hasn't this year. I do think it's pretty simple like that to shut this team down.
All right, defensive players to watch. Craig Stout.
Yeah, Christian Roland Wallace, congrats on your 2 interception game. One early when you're subbing in for Brian Cook, and then another one at the end of the game. Just cuz. Congrats, buddy. You earned it.
Maddie?
Give me the big George Karlaftis multi-sack game incoming right now. The Greek Freak eating all the rice, dry Chipotle bowl and all. The Greek Freak is coming for multiple sacks in this game.
All right, fine. Congratulations.
Forsyth.
Congratulations to Leo Chanel on multiple touchdowns in this game. One on defense on a fumble recovery, and one on a fullback carry in the deep red zone to hang, to put an exclamation point on this blowout of the Las Vegas Raiders. How about that? We're just going with multiple good things happening for all of our players to watch. Let's just roll with that. Game prediction time. Wonder where we're going with this. Craig?
Okay. We have run down the Raiders pretty heavily in this for good
The Raiders
reason.
run themselves down.
They do. And it's not looking great, especially if Jacoby Myers gets traded before this game. My goodness, this could be brutal. But let's take a step back here. It is a divisional game. Divisional games are always a lot tighter than we expect, regardless of what it is. Patrick Mahomes even set it up there. They do have somebody that can line up. If Max Crosby is on his game, could be a game wrecker. I know we just got done talking about all the ways that they can avoid him. Andy Reid is very good at scheming up. He can still be a game wrecker. I just mentioned all the other offensive weapons that are out there. As much as I would like for this to be just like a super mega blowout, I can't predict that because that's not how divisional games go. I do think that the Chiefs will look very good, both on offense and defense, but it will inevitably be closer than we think. I've got the Chiefs 35, Raiders 3.
Checks out. Yeah, I agree. Divisional games get a little dicey, and I think this one in particular, it's the perfect storm for the Chiefs to be a little bit flatter than you want them to be, the Raiders to be maybe a little bit hyped up for some reason, although I don't know, the Raiders seem so out of sight, out of mind right now. I don't know if they're getting that fired up, but maybe they surprise you and surprise the Chiefs, and it jumps out, and maybe they're competitive to start, and that snowball effects into this weird divisional game where things don't go smoothly. I can see it. I just think the Chiefs are playing a lot better than the Raiders are right now, and they're way more talented. And the things that the Raiders do well, I don't think particularly lines up well with how you attack the Chiefs or stop the Chiefs. So it seems like a pretty clear victory for the Ravens 26, Chiefs 24.
You're right. This Chiefs team has been sloppy against bad football teams, against bad divisional football teams in the past. And recent memory would tell you that could be something that this team sees. I'm not picking that. I'm not picking that. Look, this is such a big day. I think you're hearing a lot of talk about the vibes, the energy around the locker room right now in Kansas City, and that's because for the first time, in the last 2 years, the Chiefs are finally going to get to show the world what they wanted to show in 2024 with their offensive skill players. Hollywood Brown is back with Xavier Worthy and Rashee Rice. All three of them are together for the first time. And I just don't see a world in which this team doesn't set the Las Vegas Raiders on fire. I don't see a world where that happens. Or where that doesn't happen. So I think this game is going to be a lot of fun. I think this is, we're talking about like, hey, like what recent memory don't matter. Like this 3-3 football team is so much fun. There's been some frustration here, but I'm looking forward to watching this 3-3 football team light the world on fire against the Las Vegas Raiders, 31-10. I guess Leo Chenal 2 touchdowns. I guess is what we're predicting here. That is going to do it for this episode of the KC Laboratory. Thank you all so much for listening, watching, supporting. Make sure you're checking everything out on KCSN the rest of the week, and make sure you're checking out the KCSN post-game show as we celebrate a delicious victory over a divisional opponent. We love you. We appreciate you. We'll catch you later. Ball security!
Tight ball. Chiefs 31, Raiders 16.